What's up guys, my name is Zanprez and welcome back or welcome to my channel. Today's video is a pretty highly requested video again because a little bit, or I wouldn't say super recently, but one of my more recent videos I guess was I went in and I talked a little bit about each of the endgame masks, but I saw a handful of people saying that they weren't quite at that stage of the game yet and they were a little bit more interested in learning more about kind of the mid-game masks. So as a lot of people know, I'm sure most people know this, but I just want to clarify, there's 3 colors in the game that you can be, a red hive, a white hive, or a blue hive, or you could be a mixed hive, but for the most part, those are the 3 colors, and there are masks that go with each of these colors. So that's what I'm going to be covering. I'm going to be covering the 3 mid-game masks. These masks are really good, and I still think masks are the best items in the game that you can equip to your character, and they will make the biggest difference. So yeah, but before we get into this video, I wanted to give a couple of mentions. So I just started a Discord server not too long ago, and we are doing great over there. We're at 1,100 members. It's growing faster and faster every day, and it's absolutely incredible. So if you guys want to join that, I try to be in the voice calls as frequently as possible and chat with you guys because it's really fun, and I just love the community that we have going on over there. So definitely go check that out. I also just released some merch on Roblox, and I'll put some pictures of it up on the screen right now. And if you like any of this, it's very affordable, and it will be under my Roblox group page, which is always linked down in the description. So if you guys like that, go check that out. But I'm super excited for this video, and I definitely understand why a lot of people wanted me to make this video, just because the endgame masks can seem like they're a really far ways away from where you are in the game, especially if you haven't quite got the mid-game mask yet. But hopefully with this video, you'll be able to find your mid-game mask, and that will help push you into the end game, where you can finally get your end game mask. And one other thing that I wanted to make sure that I didn't forget in this video was the end game masks also benefit based on the corresponding mid game masks. So the end game masks are the gummy mask, the demon mask, and the diamond mask. And the diamond mask is the blue mask, which will correspond to the bubble mask. Same thing with the demon mask, it will correspond to the fire mask, and the gummy mask will correspond to the, I'm blanking, it corresponds to the honey mask, that's what it's called. And so just having the mid-game mask will also boost up the end-game mask, so you might want to also consider that, because in the end you probably will want to have both the same group of mid-game mask and end-game mask. I hope that makes sense. But yes, that's definitely something that you want to make sure that you look out for, because having the extra little boost is always a really nice thing. So with all of that being said, let's get right into this video, and I think the first mask that we should talk about is the honey mask. So the honey mask is located over here in the sprinkler shop, and I think this was actually the first mask that, or the first mid-game mask I should say, that I got on this account. And though it doesn't look that expensive, you look at it at first and you're like, oh, it's only 100 million honey. That's pretty good, right? But the expensive part is the crafting ingredients. Now, those 5 gold eggs are good, but it is hard to get gold eggs, and you can buy them for tickets, which is nice. But if you were to buy all 5 of those gold eggs, it's going to cost you 250 tickets that you could be using to help get yourself some event bees, so it is a little bit, I would say, the priciest of the mid-game masks. But in my opinion, it does benefit people the most, just because it really does help people get through their quests. But one thing about all these masks is they do have passive abilities. Now this is the first mask that people pick up that will have that good passive ability on it. This passive ability is Coin Scatter, which will basically just convert pollen and, yeah, it will convert some of the pollen in your bag into honey tokens that scatter around the field. And my one complaint about this is you can't actually pick up all of the honey tokens with the token link ability, but you can just run around the field and pick some of them up, which is really nice. And I would say that out of these masks, this in my opinion is my favorite, just because I think it could be the most useful. However, you kind of need to have a good hive setup around it so you can really utilize this passive. I can't remember exactly what it needs to trigger the coin scatter ability. I think it might have something to do with mark tokens, so you're definitely going to want to get yourself some carpenter bees in your hive, but I could be wrong about that. But the next mask here, let's talk about, is the bubble mask. Now, bubble mask I absolutely love, and I don't think I got this one actually, I think, until last, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't a good mask. I just wasn't really a blue hive at the very beginning. So the stats on this mask are very good. I would say that the stats are equally as good on each of these masks, and they're very proportionate to the type of hive that you have. And I do like this mask for getting pollen a lot, just because it has really great boosts, and it doesn't have abilities on it that don't actually help boost your pollen. So and I'll kind of get back to that in a second, but this mask I would say is actually much more affordable because it doesn't require those gold eggs, so that's really nice. But again, it does require those crafting materials, and you guys are going to want to make sure that you're always looking at these crafting materials so you know if it's in your price range to craft. And also I've made this mistake a bunch of times. I have been trying to save up materials to craft one item, and then I want to craft another item after that, but I don't realize that they have some of the same materials. So if I needed 250 glues for something, and then I needed 100 glues for something, and I bought the thing for 100 glues, then I'm 150 glues away from the next thing. So hope that kind of makes sense, but make sure that you're paying attention to how expensive it is to craft some of these, because like I said, it isn't just that 100 million honey. It costs a lot more added just stuff in the background, which can be pretty hard to get, and crafting some of these can also be very expensive because it does require that royal jelly, and if you can't get a lot of that royal jelly, then you might have to buy some of it, and that can get pretty expensive. But you know, then again, it is a great mask. I really like it. So I would actually really recommend this mask to anybody that's a blue hive. I don't think that these blue and red masks are quite as good as the white mask or the honey mask, just because it doesn't really benefit you in all aspects. But anyways, let's get into the fire mask. Now this is the red and final mask, and this one in my opinion is a great deal. It is very similar in crafting items to the bubble mask, and it has the passive ability Ignite, which is also pretty good, but then again, in my opinion, it is not quite as good as that Coin Scatter. And I would say it's very similar to the bubble bombs that the blue has. It's just a nice passive, but it's not something that's essential. But anyway, I do think that this mask is a great one, and it doesn't require all of those eggs to craft. But one thing that I am not in love with about this mask personally is that it gives +2 red bee attack, which is great if you're planning on being an attack hive, and it's honestly great if you're planning on being a red hive. However, it doesn't really benefit red hives at this stage of the game, especially because right now red hives need attack power to help boost up their star saw if they have that on their Supreme Star Amulet. By the way, I posted a video, my last video, which will be linked down in the description, where I generate Supreme Star Amulets, and I got some pretty insane luck. So if you guys haven't checked that out, go check that out because that was really cool. But anyway, when you're at this stage of the game, you probably don't have Star Saw, so that attack really isn't that helpful to you. So that is my one complaint. It might not be quite as powerful as a stat as I think most people would hope it would be. However, it still is a great mask. It gives that plus 1.5 times red pollen, and again, with these, you're going to want to make sure that the mask that you get also corresponds to the backpack. So there's the red backpack in the red HQ, and there's the blue backpack in the blue HQ, and I would kind of recommend matching those up with each other. So if you have the red mask, you're going to want to get the red backpack, just to kind of boost the color up as much. Or I guess you could flip it around a little bit if you want to go for a more balanced hive, but that's kind of my rundown on all of these masks. I hope that you guys found this video to be a little bit helpful. It's a little bit hard to kind of explain all the aspects about these masks. Personally, I would always recommend the honey mask first. However, I know that some people actually have different goals and they want to do other stuff. Like if you're a red hive early on, definitely just try and get that fire mask, and you know, if you're trying to do a full-on attack hive, especially that mask. But you know, that's just kind of how it is. That's how the game is, and you really just got to choose what you think is best for yourself. Also pick what you think is best for your hive. If you have a lot of blue bees, go for the blue mask. If you have a lot of red bees, go for the red mask. But like I said, I hope that you guys found this video helpful. Go join our Discord server, which will be linked down in the description. Also check out some of that new merch. I'm really proud of how this channel is doing right now, and I couldn't have done it without every single one of you guys. So if you guys do like my videos, please consider liking, subscribing, turn on notifications, and I'll see you guys next time.